Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, coming to you live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans, the number one, at David G. Evans 1. I'm so glad you're joining us once again as those begin to sign on with us and join us from all around the globe. I am honored that you're going to take this time to join this conversation as we talk about those things that we believe are relevant to you, but always from a kingdom of biblical perspective. So we talk about faith, of course, and Jesus and the Bible, but we talk about politics, sports, and culture also from the kingdom perspective, because the Bible is clear in its teaching that we need to understand the times and know exactly what to do from a kingdom biblical wisdom perspective. So I'm glad that you have taken the time to join us today. I want you to do me a favor. If you would inform all your followers, those that join you on your feed, that On Point is on, and we're inviting you not only to watch us, listen to us as you go about your daily endeavors from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. this morning, no matter where you're watching us, no matter where you're listening, but invite them to join us. And I want you to like us and subscribe to us and hit that notification button so that you never miss a moment of these stimulating conversations. You can call me toll free this morning, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Pastor Nick will be back next Saturday for sure. We're sure about that, so we're looking forward to his return. But right now, I want you to think about something, prayerfully giving me a call as we continue our discussion from last week as it relates to creativity. I want to ask this question that you can start to contemplate and think about your responses. Is the sanctuary still considered a holy place? Is the sanctuary still considered a holy place? Give me a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, for Evans. Give us a call. Of course, you can ask me anything else, and we always get around to talking about the latest football news. So all that is woven into what we're going to do and talk about this morning. But I look forward to having this conversation with you. Last week we talked about understanding the lines of creativity, and our foundational premise last time was that the Bible, the kingdom of God, gives us an immense area of creativity. And do we have to go over the lines outside the boundaries of what would be pleasing to God, or we decide for God what would be pleasing to him? But one of the things that God has been impressing me about lately, more so than ever, is that my choices don't change who he is. Our choices don't change who God is. The Bible says he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So he's unchanging. So the choices we make don't change who he is. It's like with this whole COVID thing. I had a conversation with one of the doctors that advises us as it relates to the pandemic. And I asked her, quite frankly, I said, we're making a lot of rules for COVID. Do those rules, number one, does COVID know anything about the rules we're placing upon it? And secondarily, is COVID impacted by the rules that we make? Does COVID know the difference between 6 feet and 10 feet? Does COVID know the difference between an old person and a young person? We think we can dictate the nature of something that we did not create, and we're speculating at best. But COVID has remained unchanged, and then God says, he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So we can make some choices, but that definitively does not mean that God has changed. So I want you to give me a call. Let's have this conversation today, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Scott's already on the line. Now, our conversation last week and the one, of course, this week has been based upon just having a decent kingdom conversation around what is acceptable within the lines that God has dictated? And do we draw the lines for him, or does he draw the lines for us? The means does not justify the end. Jesus said, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." In other words, watch me do what I do, and you'll do what I do. Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. Now, they could have decided to go off and do their own thing, but we're not in the context of he who came to save mankind, to introduce us to God. So God has a way. You know, every parable you've ever read has been actually a kingdom instruction. All the parables are simply God telling you how the kingdom works. If we decide we're going to do something outside that realm, does that necessarily mean that God is pleased or God is aligned with what we decided? You know, it's funny how we say sometimes, you know, we say God has not changed, but we behave in a way as though he has. For instance, we read the Ten Commandments like they belong to us, but the Ten Commandments are actually God saying what he demands, in the sense that we try to, he says, based on him creating us, what he expects from us. That's why he calls them commandments. I'm giving you these commandments, not suggestions, because I'm due your response according to who I am. But a lot of times, we look at those commandments as optional. For instance, the second commandment, I believe, says, love your neighbor. We talked about this a little bit last week in our series about the Samaritan, the whole Samaritan story. And we find ourselves making up rules for God and expect God to, if you will, condone what the rules that we're changing. But here's the issue. God is so gracious that when we are ministering or testifying or whatever, he never comes down and interrupts the service and says, boom, that's wrong. He leaves it up to us, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, to if you will, search out the thing. Proverbs says, kings, which God has made us, according to Revelation, kings search out a matter. That part of understanding who we are in the Lord should cause us to have a thirst, a hunger, a passion, an enthusiasm, and yes, even a curiosity about what God says. So if I want to know who God is, I study his letter, his word to us. If I want to know his character, I study his word. I want to know his tendencies, I study his word. Because he's given us a clear blueprint of how he wants us to behave in response to him. So the commandments are not our 10, they're his. And those things has not changed. The principles of them have not changed because God has not changed. We've got Scott from Vinyl, we've got Keefe from Lawnside, we've got Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Let's go to Scott first. Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
Bishop?
What's going on, man?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I got you. Are you there? They said we can't get that fixed, Crystal. I'm going to line 3. Hey, Keefe, how you doing this morning? Hello? I can't hear anyone up on the board.
I'm doing all right, Bishop. How are you?
All right, can you hear me, Keefe? Turn down your device, man, so you're not listening to the feedback.
Yes, I can.
You turn it down yet? Turn down your device, Keefe, so you're not listening to the feedback.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're listening to your device, man. Turn your device down.
Hello?
Hi, Keefe, are you there? Let's try Tom. Just see if we can't get this fixed. Somebody send me a message. Let me know what's going on. Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Morning, Bishop.
You there, man?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me? All right, we're having an issue. I'm going to put everybody on hold, and you guys see if you can get it fixed for me. Those of you that are on the line, hold on. We're having a technical difficulty that seems to be common for each caller, so just hold on, and we'll continue to talk while we get this worked out. I know Brother Phil and Crystal, Sister Crystal, are working on it right now. So, over the last few weeks, there should have been some questions as to what is allowed, what is permitted, what is over the line, what is too far. What I believe a reasonable question, follow-up question to last week's conversation, is the sanctuary in the church still considered a holy place? Is the sanctuary in the church still considered a holy place? Now, if we look at some of the language in recent years as it relates to the sanctuary, the altar, we found that, I think years ago, the identity of the church, not just the corporeal but the structural church, began to shift when churches thought it was essential to change their look to attract the culture. So we started building churches that looked almost like office buildings, changing our identity. Church started changing its language. The only long-lasting professional that changed its language to satisfy people's appeal. Accountants still speak the same language. Lawyers still speak the same language. Doctors still speak the same language. Veterinarians still speak the same language. Mechanics still speak basically the same language. Only the church has decided to change the way it talks to people to attract people. Every other major profession has kept this identity and has had no problem with people being attracted to it. But the church, national, seemed to think that if I become more secular looking, more secular acting, that will cause people to want to come and be a part of an organization, an entity that's not sure who it is, or at least changes with the wave of culture. Then we started referring to some people, not all people, some people, started referring to just the church just as a building, not wanting to invite folk to church. Once again, not being proud of the entity itself. Then again, we started talking about the altar. The language changed over the a platform, thank you, a stage, a platform, anything but an altar. And once that language changed, that there was no actual altar but a stage, and when we think of stages, we think of performance. Platform, we think of presentation, performance. Did that language start to cause us to have a different view of the sanctuary? Because now the room became a place where a stage was. Did we remove a key identifying aspect of who the church is, what the church is, and then watch slowly but surely the sanctuary become less of a holy place? I think we may have people back again. We'll go back to Scott. Scott, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Bishop?
Got you. Y'all turn me down a little bit in my headset. Good, man. We had a little we had a little technical, but we all right now. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. You solo again?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Pastor Nick will be back next Saturday. Yeah, I'm almost feeling grown.
Oh, almost. Well, you sure preached like you were grown on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
We're still feasting off that.
I appreciate that
sermon.
Man. I appreciate that, man. How's everybody? How's Naya doing?
She's doing good. She's over here relaxing on her tablet.
Yeah.
Doing a little bit of house chores. Let me call you up real quick.
What's on your mind this morning?
Migrants coming over here, Bishop. It seems like it's really getting out of hand.
What you mean?
And it just make a lot of places don't have room for them. I know there were some, of course, in New York, and you know, it's a big city, but up in Trenton, but it just seemed like it's getting out of hand. I have a two-part question. Make it quick.
Mm,
They whipped the Haitians. C. McMahon and I saw during the summertime. They came over here. Why they send them packing?
right.
But they allow, not the prejudice, the Mexicans to come over here. And my other question is, if Bishop David Evans is in charge, how would you handle this situation?
Well, the nation itself, Scott, you know, I know, was built on immigration.
It's built on immigration. Okay.
It's built on immigration. I have the privilege of homeschooling my grandkids, and
Okay.
I really do believe that fourth graders, third graders are possibly smarter than adults because I learned um, more about immigration that I can remember in fourth grade social studies than I knew entirely on my own, and that is that this nation foundationally is built upon immigration,
Okay.
a blending of cultures and backgrounds and histories into one place. And one of the places that was key in the immigration from Europe and all around the world was New Jersey. And so when we were studying New Jersey, I learned that that Statue of Liberty off of New York in New York is not there by accident. It's there as a symbol of we will take your huddled masses. Now, what has happened is people took us at our word. And people come to this place because they believe they can have a better life. Now, what has happened, I think, is that there are some Americans who now don't want immigrants here. Now, my only problem with that is this. Crime was here before they came,
Right.
okay? And a lot of the jobs that a lot of the immigrants that I know that they come here seeking, our citizens don't want.
Right.
So we have this issue where we don't want you here because you're competing for a job that I don't want. Which, if you saying it out loud, it makes no sense. That's why it's an emotional argument. And the actuality is, you know, I'll use my own life. When the guys come to cut the grass,
Hmm.
I rarely see anyone out there but people of color from another country.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy that owns the outfit sometimes is a national, but the workers are largely immigrants. Now, I happen to do business with an immigrant who owns his own company, which is my way of supporting his endeavors here. But Scott, to be honest, I don't want to cut grass.
Right.
You know, I don't want to do the sprinklers. So the problem is that we have to have the money in place. And right now, the Republicans are saying shut it all off or fix the problem, but they won't allot any money to help fix the problem. It's not going to get fixed overnight, but we do have to start addressing the issue. Now, President Obama, I believe, had one of the largest records of deporting people.
Yes.
Okay, so legal immigration is the real issue. If you're going to be here, you need to be legal. Go through the process, get it done. But the desperation to get here, Scott, is because America, with all our issues, still offers the greatest opportunity to individuals in the world.
Okay.
So their problem is legal immigration, but we won't. And the problem is immigration of people of color, because white folk don't have a problem immigrating. Our former president, all his wives were immigrants.
Hmm.
People
How
don't
about that?
people don't think about this stuff. So they were acceptable. People of color are not acceptable. They're trying to say all the criminals are people of color. No, that's not true.
Nope.
Just like everybody on welfare is not a person of color. As a matter of
Nope.
fact, the majority of people on welfare are not people of color. So there's this perception that's being, and it's out of fear. They're coming to take your job. Okay, you do well. You're not trying to work at a car wash.
Nope.
They're not taking your job.
Nope.
So
Yeah, it makes no sense, like you said, Bishop. When you think out loud, like you just did.
yeah.
I'm sitting up here just bobbing my head, like, yeah,
If we think through it, and do what I've been trying to teach our church to do for the last year or so, which is not let my emotions intoxicate my thinking, but allow my thinking to sober up my emotion.
I like that.
Yeah, and a lot, I'm an emotional person. And
You know I am.
yeah, I know, and I'm an emotional person. So, I have to intentionally cause myself to slow down and think, so my emotions don't run away with my life.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. We were just trying to figure out, why when the Haitians came over here, you saw them whipping them, and they went hall-tailing back to.
Yeah, but they've been deporting people, and a lot of times what we don't know, when they deport people back to Haiti that have been put out of Haiti, we're actually deporting them back to a death sentence.
Oh.
Because they're trying to get out. They're trying to get out of there.
Okay.
So in some cases, the reason they want to be here is because back home, they've been told you got to get out of here, or it's not going to be good for you. And I only know that because last year or the year before, one of our members' relatives was killed in Haiti.
Wow.
Having gotten into a relationship there, supporting the person there, and actually was set up coming from a club, and they killed him. But it was one of the dumbest crimes I've ever seen in my life. If you don't kill the thing that's feeding you.
No.
Okay.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, no sense at all. So anyway, Scott, good talking to you, man.
You too. And you'll be seeing us soon. You have my word.
All right, now I'm taking you at your word now.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, talk to you.
All right.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to Keefe and Lawnside. Then we're going to Tom, one of our longtime callers from Fort Lauderdale. You can give me a call. I would love to talk to you. Our subject today is the sanctuary still considered a holy place. Let's talk to Keefe. Hey, Keefe, how you doing?
Hey, Bishop, how are you?
Doing fine, man. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I've been quite busy the last few months, so
Well,
I
busy's good. Busy's good.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about any politics or nothing today,
Okay.
but I know there are sports fans out there listening. Especially you got boys in Florida. I'm not sure if they're sports fans, but what is your take on what's going to happen with this weekend's games? Like, say, for example, I'm going to give you the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I am of the impression that Philadelphia fans, we're so rabidly emotional about the team that we're missing something that's quite obvious. When this particular leadership came, coach and staff and all, their style was a surprise to most of the other parts of the league. And they were winning and winning and winning and winning. And then we saw something start to happen. And what was that? What we saw happen was, just like in any outstanding NFL team, the other coaches figure out your system. What we're seeing this year is that the other coaches have figured out the Eagles system. Now, some people are saying crazy stuff like, they're losing on purpose because they want to surprise everybody in the playoffs. No. That's not how that works. Here's what's really happening. They figured out how we do it, and it's up to us to make the adjustment. One of the problems that I thought Andy Reid had when he was here, he was horrible at adjusting during a game. We would keep doing the same things. He wouldn't accept the fact that they got figured out. I don't know if there's more than one coach in history who literally could, what they were going to do, and they still would execute it and beat you. And that was the Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi. But I think that the coaches have figured us out. So that means we've got to change the way we do it.
All right. The other one coach that I have not followed in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
But his style of coaching, I mean, I don't know if it's still true because they were under investigation for this,
Mm-hmm.
was the New England Patriots.
Oh, Belichick?
And Bill Belichick.
Yeah. He believed in getting every advantage that he could get.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about the team in Texas, and I'm talking about the Houston Texans,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, now I'm not sure what your take would be on this. Do you think that the way to win is to, let's say, bring out your wallet or write a check to, let's say, a ref or, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
saying, I want you to call, this penalty on this team and then let them do their own mistakes. Now, I kind of figured, because I've been watching football for a long time.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, is it the players trying to throw the game, or is it the coaches trying to do the same thing, or is it the owners trying to pull out their big wallet, saying, I want you to do this, I want you to do that?
I think there's been some suspicion that the whole results are managed. And I think they've had some players who have come out and substantiated that from the player point of view.
Right.
One of the fallacies with that philosophy is this: in order to throw a game, there would have to be too many people involved in the scheme.
Right.
You can't. After a while, if you tell your quarterback, make sure you throw 5 interceptions, and he keeps doing it, and he's throwing more accurately to the opposing team than he is to his own teammates, you probably could start to wonder a little bit. But there's too much reputation attached to fame and money for someone to tank important games and lower their monetary value. So do I think that there are some influences? I think with human beings there has to be. But I don't think Houston is losing on purpose. I think Houston's system lacks a few key things.
That's true. I was thinking, because sometimes I look at the main team that won the division this year, which is, like I said, I'm not talking about the Houston Texans. It was the Dallas Cowboys I was speaking of.
Okay.
And the one thing I look at, because no one in my right mind, likes playing those Cowboys.
Well, I mean, they got some good things about them.
Right.
But you notice football teams are like the real estate market.
Yeah.
They go through cycles. They win, they lose. They win, they lose. They win, they lose. They go through cycles. You watch every team. Eagles lost for a long time. They started winning, and now it looks like they're getting ready to disappoint us again. Sixers won for years. Look like they're going to start winning. They disappoint us for years. It's a cycle because it's competitive.
Right. And my last thing here, I was still staying on the sports thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is above and beyond of what that I see, because like I said, I can either watch hockey, I can watch baseball, golf, sorts of things. But then the mainstream of it, baseball, football, and I'm saying to myself, what is going on in this? Like I said, and the main word I'm thinking about every time I look at it is that somewhere in the long sports world of football is that someone is getting paid off to someone is getting paid off to call worse calls and make the fans upset.
I think not just to make the fans upset, but I think the possibility of illegalities is in every sport and in every judging sport, especially those fast-moving sports where calls are like basketball, baseball, and football. They've had their illegalities in the past, so you can't get away from that. But I don't think it's pervasive. It's like saying that voter fraud is at such a level that it could turn an election. No, you have a couple thousand people who do things fraudulently. A couple thousand does not impact an election. The difference between the winner and loser is 3, 4, 5 million votes. That's not enough voter impropriety to even be worried about. Keith, I'm glad to hear you. We got to go. We got some other people we got to talk to.
All right, Bishop. Good to
Talk to you.
Good talking
All
with
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Tom from Fort Lauderdale, Jamila from Philadelphia, Robin from Delaware. Let's go to Tom. Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop.
What's
You
go-
got a couple good subjects going on.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm juggling all the balls at the same time, man.
Real quick, when we talk about sports,
Okay.
I had an argument with a man about Donovan McNabb throwing the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Guy swore, and I said, "Do you know if Donovan McNabb would have won the Super Bowl, he'd probably be commentating right now.
Absolutely.
He'd be making a lot more money.
Absolutely.
So no way can you tell me he got paid to throw that.
He tanked his future to lose a ball game? Come on, man.
Yeah, the guy goes, but they gave him $2 million. I said, it's only a drop in the bucket.
Oh, guys.
There's a couple other quick things.
Yeah.
You were talking about bring us your mask, bring us your hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not quoting. I'm only paraphrasing. What's on the Statue of Liberty, but the goodies are on there about bring us your people.
Humbled masses.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Glad you brought up that our ex-president, all of his wives are.
Everybody, man.
Yeah, and down here in Florida, we see a lot more of the Haitians.
Sure.
And, it's hard to believe that if you're Cuban and you make it to ground, you're accepted. You're not getting sent back.
Absolutely.
But if you're Haitian, and it's all political, people don't. It's all who's got the power in politics.
It's who's accepted, and the Cubans have been staunch Republicans, I understand, in Florida for quite a long time.
So they turned the state when
absolutely
Mr. Trump was running a
political juggernaut.
Yep. And just that whole immigration thing. And this, you said something else. I'm going back to your original question about religion and how we all change with stuff. But I think a lot of people aren't hungry anymore. What I mean is that I think we sought out the Lord when our bellies weren't full.
Yeah.
When we didn't have 2 cars and we were struggling. I think we had to look to him a lot more then. And I think that's why some people are changing to bring people into the church to where some people forget.
I think your statement has a lot of merit, but if I can, I want to add some wisdom to that. And what I mean by that is this. What's amazing is that no one can deny the last 3-4 years have been very challenging for most people.
Yeah.
And what I am experiencing in our own ministry and what I've experienced people calling me are that people that did not, it's like a good home. You don't appreciate a good home. Many people don't appreciate a good home until they have some negative experiences in another home. So the stability, the predictability, the security, the nurturing, all that, kind of when you're in the situation, you tend not to appreciate it like you should. And a lot of times, Tom, hardship makes you start to look to the things that were stable in your life. I'll use me for an example. I have people who are no longer part of our church. When life challenges them, they call me. And it pains my heart to ask them, what does your pastor say? And then they say, well, we don't have that kind of church, or we don't have that kind of pastor. You can't sit down and talk to him. And then my thing is, why are you there? So a lot of times, stress and hardship causes people to start to remember, like the prodigal son, if I was home, there's food there, there's protection there. You start to relish and desire the consistency of where you are raised and nurtured when hard times hit you.
Yeah.
And that's what's bringing a lot of people not just back to our church, but to churches all over the nation. That because the tendency, Tom, at one time was to only desire the celebrity pastors. I'm not saying we didn't have celebrity, but we did. But we never, ever allowed celebrity to get in front of the mission of this church.
Yeah. Bishop, I remember an incident with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a little funny. I don't even know if you remember.
Okay.
My then ex called you.
Okay.
Cause I was acting up, and I got a phone call.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be from one of the deacons because I get phone calls.
Okay.
So I picked it up. Hey, and it was you.
Oh.
And I remember my throat dropping. Went, oh my God.
Okay.
And you just said to me, Tom, you having a problem? Would you like to come in and see me? And you may not even remember, but you gave me some great advice.
Okay.
But the reason I'm saying this on the air is that people don't realize in that mega church, you will get a phone call if need be.
Mm-hmm.
And I cherish that. I cherish the conversation we had.
Well,
I remember when I got that call.
my concept of shepherding is that shepherds touch sheep. So shepherds have to be among the sheep. So the idea that we have that a shepherd is constantly standing on the hill overlooking the flock, only part of the job that he does every day. He wanders through the flock so that the sheep can imprint with him, so that when he moves, they move. But he's also there to protect them and keep the bullies from bothering the baby lambs and all that kind of stuff. So it's an all-encompassing job. Let me ask you a political question before you go, Tom. Is your governor getting ready to drop out the race or what?
I think if Nikki Haley's doing what she's going to do, and I think she's I don't think anybody's going to take Trump out. I think Trump's going to take himself out. But
he's got some he's got some legal troubles.
Yeah. Our governor, he's a nut.
Don't hold back, Tom. Don't hold back. Just say. Why don't you really say what's on your mind?
I think people starting to see the real him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have much substance. It's all.
He's smoking. He's smoking mirrors, Doc.
Yeah, bells and whistles. So.
Well, good talking to you, man.
Hey, great. Looking good solo.
All right, now. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267. We're going to Robin in Bear, Delaware, and Jamila in Philadelphia in just a moment. You can give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Our spiritual conversation today, even though sports and politics are always in our conversation, based on recent events, do you think the sanctuary is still considered a holy place? Let's talk to Robin. Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Well, good morning, Bishop. They have you solo again. You
yeah,
know
girl,
what?
I'm feeling grown. I'm telling you.
That's because you the man.
I'm feeling like I'm over 18.
You the man.
Pastor Nick better hurry up and get back here. I tell you that.
Oh yeah, we miss Pastor Nick.
Yeah,
but we love you when you're by yourself too, because you give us a lot of food to feed on when we hang up. So,
what's going on this morning?
Well, first, I'm going to start laughing again. Your message Bible study.
Yeah.
You was talking about cremation your story.
Yeah.
Bishop, that was so hilarious. That's why I love your humor.
I think what I was trying to do was get across a very serious, somber point with some personal experience and biblical truth and add personal experience. I think it made it live for people.
Yeah, I looked it up. The word that you said, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, begin with a G, because I looked up the information on that Bible.
Gehenna.
Yes, yep, I looked it up. I even showed Tamara. I had her look at it, too. She started laughing. Yeah, but I'm enjoying the conversation, especially with the question that you asked about, the church. I think, just my opinion, I think a lot of people go to certain churches because of the crowd, the mega, the popularity.
Yeah.
And then they're there for the music and the pastor. They're not there for God. I've seen people who leave like, well, that pastor, I don't like the way he teaches, or I don't believe what he's saying. But we're coming to church to learn. And that's why you've been saying it does matter where you go to church.
Yeah. And I think also that a lot of, you remember last week when I was talking about and I'm going to do a little bit more on that this week, about the lawyer that came to see Jesus. And the Bible says he actually came because he was looking to justify himself, which means he was trying to establish his own righteousness in front of Jesus. And a lot of times when we get offended when we're being taught the Bible, which is really insane when you think about it. So I'm showing you what it says in the book, and you can't get mad at God. You have to get mad at the person that's presenting it to you. And you're looking at your Bible. You say you're a Christian. Show you the truth plainly, and then you get mad and say, I don't like what he's teaching. Okay. No, you weren't able to justify yourself. You weren't able to establish your own righteousness. You came in trying to get affirmed rather than learn. Mm-hmm. And that happens. You know, some people are offended by new knowledge.
Yeah, because it hits home. Because especially when you start hearing the pastor teach, things that pertain to your past.
Sure.
You're getting, what is it? I don't say crucified, but, you're getting
you get
convicted.
Challenged. You get convicted.
Right?
Yeah, and we should be, in order for wisdom to be established, old knowledge has to be challenged. There's no other way around it. You know, it's like when we go to school in the first grade, the teacher started teaching us stuff that we don't know. And you either decide, I'm going to learn this, or, I don't like, watch this, the uncomfortable feeling I get when something is revealed that I don't know. Mm-hmm. So what do? We shut down so we can't learn. It's the same thing in church. I come, I don't know a lot, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that I need to learn. You start teaching me, and if I don't have the right mindset, I'll respond negatively to being taught something new.
Mm-hmm. And like the challenges that I went through last year, I know why it happened, because it was to bring me closer to God, the trust and the study.
Sure.
And these are the things that we need to look at when we go through things. There's a reason. It's for you to study, understand why you're going, through those challenges. But Bishop, I'm gonna let you go about this question. Remember, I talked to you about the it might fit in what you're asking us. The prophet that charges. What's the word that says, "Be careful. Everyone who calls on Jesus is not going to enter the kingdom"?
Yes.
Okay. So, what would make a church that is allowing this for the person to do what is that telling people?
I can't speak on what other ministries do.
Right.
I think our loudest voice is the fruit that is produced by this ministry. So we make a statement based on what we do consistently and how God moves. That is our loudest statement, which is why you don't hear me talking about other pastors, other churches, what they're doing. I don't go there, because I believe who we are, our identity, who we are speaks louder than our words ever could, although words are important. But I think that a lot of times the Bible does say that people, I'm paraphrasing now, people approach Jesus and say, we prophesied in your name. And Jesus says, I don't know you.
That's right.
Because sometimes in life, our focus can get kind of twisted, and we start to do things that we're empowered to do for reasons other than kingdom. And the simplest way to explain that is kingdom involves a God focus. Empire building involves a me focus.
Yeah, it's all about I.
Yeah. When you're building kingdom, other people have to be involved.
Just like marriages.
When you build an empire, when you build an empire, it usually it's just that one person that's trying to benefit.
Yeah, when you get married, it's no more I. It's us.
It's kingdom. All right, girl. Good talking to you.
All right, you too, Bishop. You have a blessed day and be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
We've got some lines open. 866-743-8267. We're going to Jamila in Philly. Hey, Jamila, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Trying to make it, girl. Trying to make it. Welcome to On Point. What's your comment today?
Well, I'm going to respond because he asked the question about, is the church, I forget how it was phrased.
Yeah, that's me. That's me you're talking to.
Yes, but I don't think so, because this just reminds me back when Kirk Franklin came out and the churches felt some kind of way, but I just think it's with the generations, different generations, and I think the churches, they try to become what they're looking for in so many words. I mean, if you can say that without hurting anybody. Is this Bishop?
Yes, it is.
Oh, now I'm looking at you on TV and I'm like, oh, Bishop, how are you? I'm one of your flock. I belong to your church.
God bless you, baby. God
yes,
bless you.
I was there last week, so it's all
wonderful, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I just wanted to comment on that, sir.
Well, I think that one of the things, we live in a society, a culture where authenticity is supposed to be one of the chief things that people are pursuing.
Exactly.
But the church national has to be careful that we don't become chameleons.
Exactly.
Exactly. And just changing colors with whatever surroundings we find ourselves in.
Exactly. Exactly.
When we talked about the Samaritan last week, I did a little bit on the Samaritan culture and how there were so many different cultures in Samaria in Israel at the time that the Bible starts talking about this thing called mixed worship.
Yes.
That on one hand, they believe in the Lord, but on the other hand, they were worshiping pagan gods.
Yes.
But still claiming to be believers. And I just don't think that if authenticity is a key characteristic, Jamila, that I believe that if you're going to be authentic, that authenticity does not change foundationally with the wind.
Exactly.
That we have to be, that we're supposed to be distinct and different. And a lot of times that will cause you to get criticism. But what I think we have to do is that you can't change who you are just because circumstances change.
Yes.
Okay, so you're born again believer, but you can't go out Friday night and not even give a hint that you're born again.
Exactly.
So my point is this: the church has to maintain its authenticity to maintain its authority and influence in the community. If we start trying to look like something else, radically, trying to look like something else, not even, what is it C.C. Winans said? She said if it doesn't sound like God and doesn't look like God, it's probably not God.
Yeah, because on social media, they got all certain things that have happened, and I respect how you said you don't talk about the churches. And I feel the same way, but we can all just see it, so we don't even have to talk about it.
Because I believe this, Jamila, and I believe this almost my entire adult life. My mom taught me this. I have a full-time job minding my own business.
Yes. Oh, you're so right. You're so right, Bishop. We ain't got time to worry about nobody else.
Girl, what you talking about? A full-time job.
We ain't got time. Look, I got enough to deal with me. I'm trying to get in, okay?
Please.
Yes, sir.
Good talking to you, girl.
You too. Thank you, and have a blessed week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
866-743-8267. We've got about 10 minutes. I want to invite you to join us tomorrow. We have our 8 a.m. virtual service. We have a 11 o'clock live service. We want to invite all of you here. Our mask is optional, so if you're comfortable wearing them, you wear them. If you don't, you don't. We're still taking temperatures at the door to make sure you're not walking in here at 125 fever talking about I'm just, it's my allergies. No, it ain't happening. But we're not requiring vaccination. We are requiring that we exercise some wisdom. So, but we are masks are optional. Been that way since the first of the year. And we're looking forward to seeing you as we continue in our theme for this month, Lord, break my heart for what breaks yours. It's embedded in the Samaritan story. If you weren't with us last week, you're going to hear the Samaritan story. I hope from a perspective you never ever considered as we watch God move and save souls, change lives through this historic story, which we believe God has given us unique insight on. So we want you to join us tomorrow, 11 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you. If you desire some spiritual news and church news during the week, you text BBC News to 28950. If you want some spiritual inspiration, BBC Elevate to 28950. You'll be able to get some messages during the week that I believe will inspire you. And we also want to remind you that we have an assisting study kind of guide going on with each message that you can get on Mondays. Kind of a summation, another look at the message, what it was teaching, those types of things, so you can kind of get this thing really down in your spirit, down in your heart. Because what the Samaritan story is really all about is a test of a believer's heart. The test of a heart. And a lot of believers, when we get into situations where the heart of God is supposed to be shown, we have heart failure. But you want to join us tomorrow so you can get the rest of this. We'd love to pray with you now. No matter what that prayer request is, we won't read out loud your business on the air, but you email your prayer request to social@go2bethany.com. Go2bethany.com. social@go2bethany.com. Now, so what we've been talking about off and on for this last hour has been this issue of is there a limit? Is there a line to be drawn as it relates to creativity? And that caused the question to be asked, if our creativity has lost its boundaries, its guardrails, is the sanctuary an anything goes kind of place? Has the sanctuary lost its identity as a holy place? Or are people simply looking at the sanctuary as another room, part of the building, not, watch this, the Holy of Holies in this tabernacle? Why do I say that? So in the Old Testament, they had the tabernacle, the tent. They had the front part of the tent where the showbread table and the candlesticks and all that were. And then you had to go through another curtain to get to the Holy of Holies. What I'm saying was the sanctuary. Have we lost contact, watch this, with the principle of this part where the altar is located being a sanctuary? Or has it become such a commonplace that we will desecrate it and then wonder why the power of God is not moving in the church? It's not indicting anybody. I'm asking a question, posing it to you who are watching me. You got about, I guess, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. You can give me a call with your response, quick response. I'd love to hear what you think. And being a creative person, having a creative ministry, a ministry that has been known almost the entire time for being a little ahead of its time. We do understand we don't have to shave the edges off holiness to appeal to people that are not saved. The whole point is to bring them closer to God. So the way we do it does matter. Or else Jesus would have told the disciples, go out and do it any way you want to. He didn't say that. He said, I need you to follow me. I need you to watch me do what I do, and you'll be able to do what I do. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men, catchers of people. So Jesus was not going to aberrate. I think Paul brings it up. He says, I've learned how to be, I'm paraphrasing, all things to all people without compromising my spiritual identity, without compromising my holiness. So, do you believe there are lines? Do you believe the sanctuary is still considered a holy place? That's my question to you today. And I know some of you may be writing on Facebook, but you see I have no laptop in front of me today. Pastor Nick is not here to handle that part of our broadcast today, but you can give me a call, 866-743-8267, with a short comment as to whether you believe the sanctuary is still considered a holy place. I think the average Christian, we want God to move in the sanctuary as though it's holy, but I'm not sure we treat it like it's holy or like he's present. So just to add another wrinkle to the conversation, it's just if this is the house of God, if our churches are the houses of God, I think we are in danger of losing power, spiritual power, if the sanctuary is simply a place of performance and not for spiritual execution. Making you think, I know. Well, here's the phones lighting up again. We've got about 3 minutes. I think somebody's on. Is somebody there yet? It's not blinking, so I don't know. I think I'll go and find out. This is Bishop.
Hey, Bishop, it's Pamela.
Hey, Pam, how you doing this morning?
Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm better.
Okay.
I'm much better.
Prayed for you, girl. Prayed for you.
Thank you. Pray for Mommy.
Okay, I am.
Yeah.
What's your comment?
I wanted to comment on if the sanctuary has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as far as sanctuaries look, yes, they've changed tremendously.
Okay.
From when I was a little girl, you go in, you had the altar and the big chairs and all of that.
Yeah.
All of that is
I remember the big chairs. That didn't make it holy. That just gave the big shots a place to sit up high. That's all. Let's keep going. keep going.
Yes. But the people also, like, you remember saying that people would leave trash in there and all kinds of stuff. That to me was starting a transition where we didn't respect the sanctuary, because you leave your trash in there and leave stuff in there and not leave it neat and clean. And when I first got saved, before we left the sanctuary, pick up everything, get the trash, leave it clean. You came in there, it was clean, leave it when it's clean.
But people normally treat the sanctuary like they treat their own home. You know that, right?
Mm.
So the other piece of that is that you can't assume that people that don't know God and know church know how to conduct themselves. For instance, a couple weeks in December, I believe, I did a little 5-10 minute teaching on worship, because you can't assume everybody's familiar with the word, but are they familiar with the mechanics of worship? How do you do it? If the Bible says we got to worship Him in spirit and in truth, that means there's a correct way and a wrong way to worship God. So that's we can't assume people know. They have to be taught, even how to respect the property of the church, even if they don't respect the property where they live.
That we do have to be taught.
Absolutely. And that stuff starts at home,
Sure, absolutely.
People that are taught to be neat at home are not normally sloppy in public.
Right. That's true.
Pam, we got to go. I got about 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Okay, thanks.
All right, talk to you now.
I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, this has been On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, coming to you live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. I'm so honored that you kept me so busy this entire hour. It was great talking to you, those that called in. Thank you for your input. Those that text or posted on our website, on Facebook, thank you for your participation. I want to invite you once again to come be with us tomorrow. Come visit us tomorrow. Inconvenience yourself. Drive down. We start promptly at 11 o'clock. We promise that God will move by His Spirit, because we're going to do everything to make Him welcome tomorrow. Now, as always, I want to encourage you. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. And I will see you next time on Point.